Welcome back to Tacoma Report. Here at TV Tacoma, we're excited to debut a brand new program, the 253. Producer Mark McKittrick has been hard at work on this and joins us now to give an inside look. Welcome to the show, Mark.
Thank you, Laura. It's a pleasure to be on.
Absolutely. We have a few questions for you to share with our viewers about this new show. Okay?
Absolutely.
All right. So the 253 is City of Tacoma's newest program airing right here on TV Tacoma. Could you tell our viewers a little bit about the program?
I would love to, Laura. Thanks for asking.
Yes.
Yeah, so the 253 is what we call a magazine show. It's something that is a little bit of everything. All of the stories are thinking of like different articles about Tacoma. And specifically with this focus of the show, we want to get into the communities of Tacoma and really highlight all the things that are happening around town and the people that make those stories possible.
Okay. And so, Mark, can you tell our viewers, where did the idea for the program come from?
Thanks. That's a great question. Well, to be honest, it's something that TV Tacoma's always had a long history of doing. We had other programs in the past that used to go out into the community and tell these kind of stories. So we're basically on the success of our other sister program, Destiny City Rewind. We're going back and we're looking at those community members and organizations that had such an impact that when watching Destiny City Rewind today, people are really excited to look back to yesteryear. So now we're looking at the present and moving forward with that to show that the community is still there, it's still thriving, and that those neighborhood networks are still alive and well.
And you know, one of the things I love about the 253 is the fact that this is the community that you're actually talking to and getting feedback from. So I think that's really awesome that the community is able to participate in the new show.
Absolutely. We didn't want to have a central figure on this one. We really wanted to have a show about Tacoma, for Tacomans, and have Tacomans be the voice telling the story about their own adventures and their own engagement with their city and with their home and with their neighbors.
Right, right. A little more personal.
Absolutely.
And so can you tell our viewers what are some of the inspirations for the different segments of the show?
Well, that's a great question because everywhere, I'm relatively new to Tacoma.
Okay.
I just moved here about 2.5 years ago. And I've got to say, Tacoma's been a very, very welcoming city to me and opening its doors. Really, the inspirations for these segments are seeing the community. You can't go a day without seeing 5 potential stories that are amazing in Tacoma. And there's, I don't want to go on the bandwagon of it's a gritty city and it's true grit, but it really is. There's an amazing authenticity about the folks in this city. And it's my charge, my stewardship to try to hold on to that and really promote what the people of Tacoma are doing.
And it's really refreshing to hear from someone who's new to the area how welcoming Tacoma has been. So that's really good to hear too. And I'm glad that you're having that experience.
Why, thank you.
So in regards to the audience, who would you say is the audience for the show? For example, it's not just a Tacoma thing, or is there a greater range of people?
Well, I'm still learning those footsteps as I go because I'm also very aware that Tacoma is a very proud city and they want to, you know, they want to keep their jewels. They want to keep their things to themselves. And I love that. So I'm doing the best I can to highlight the things that everybody is proud of and a part of. But like, there are a lot of stories here, but because the way the community is, Tacomans have an impact. So the good things that happen here are felt in the South Sound. So it's really for everybody, but mostly it's for the folks at Tacoma to see themselves and be proud of the work that they're doing.
Absolutely. And so, Mark, can you tell our viewers when and where they can see the show?
So you can now watch it on TV Tacoma here as we're watching this. And also it is being promoted on the City of Tacoma's YouTube channel. And so a quick Google search of that will show up. You just type in City of Tacoma, the 253, and poof, there we are.
Okay. So, and Mark, what are some of the goals for this program?
The goals of this program as a producer, I really just, again, want to underscore that it's a show about community, you know, and there is a very strong community in Tacoma, a very proud community of Tacomans that really want and deserve to hear the stories of themselves. So the goal is really to just embrace that energy and that sense of neighborly teamwork and sharing that is evident. You can't go block to block without seeing it somewhere. It's just so, it's the roots of this city at times where, you know, neighbors will help neighbors, and, you know, like-minded people will drive across town to help people if they need a hand because they align with, you know, like seeing things like, so our first episode, the Tacoma Light Trail, that was something that started in just the downtown New Tacoma area during, you know, the early days of COVID when people were isolated and segmented. And the founder of the organization said, we've got to get people back together in a safe way. We've got to keep that community fire lit. How do we do this? Let's do a driving, walking, biking tour of installations of art throughout the city. So that right there shows that even Tacomans knew, like, we can't let those fires die down. Let's build that community however we can. And then, and another segment with the first episode about the Tacoma Library reimagining of the main branch. Everybody from the city came together on all of the surveys and the outreach that the Tacoma Library Department did with the community to really hear what the community wanted to see in their new library. So instead of just a unilateral decision like, oh, we can afford to do this, they said, well, let's hear the community. And let's see what we can fit in. And it's amazing. The feedback on that story has been absolutely just glowing. So I take no credit for that because that was everybody that showed up to the library grand opening. That brought that energy to town. Well,
final question for you. So is there any sneak peek into the next episode that you can share with us?
Well, I can't give too much away. But yes, we are going to be taking a bird's eye view of Tacoma and the neighborhoods that make it up. Every locality has a little bit of different flavor. And so I want to just kind of give, you know, a 30,000-foot view of each neighborhood and what are some of the hot spots? What are some of the gems? What are some of the favorite parks? What are some of the places that people go to communicate with their neighbors or just find a quiet peace of mind in their own back 40? You know, so we're going to be delving into the neighborhoods of Tacoma, and hopefully people will get to see a little spot of their own and say, I know that spot. That's great. I'm glad someone brought mention to that because it's one of their favorites.
Well, you know, Mark, I appreciate the fact that you are bringing this all together. I'm excited to check out the show, and as I'm, you know, sure our viewers are as well. And thank you for all the work that you're doing on this.
Oh, it's my pleasure, Laura. Thank you so much. This has been great.
Well, we want to see you back with an update, and again, thank you for everything that you've put into the 253, and we're looking forward to hearing more on it.
Wonderful.
All right, thanks, Mark.